Back here live in Des Moines, Iowa, and the Ted Cruz campaign is coming under a bit of fire today over a controversial mailer that they sent to voters in Iowa. The top of it reads, take a look at this, voting violation. So how would you feel if you got that in the mail? It shows the recipient's record of showing up to vote, as well as their neighbor's record of showing up to vote. Some are calling this voter shaming. One state official said the mailer misrepresents Iowa's election law, but Senator Cruz says he thinks this is absolutely fine and on the up and up.
Listen, Matt Schultz, who's a former Secretary of State, is the chairman of our campaign, put out a public statement saying these mailers are routine, that the Iowa Republican Party has done so in the past, in past elections. And I will apologize to nobody for using every tool we can to encourage Iowa voters to come out and vote.
Joining me now is Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who is a Ted Cruz supporter. Good to have you with us.
Great to be here, Martha.
Thank you very much for being
here.
Great
to be here.
We want to show people a little bit more about what this
Sure.
is, and then you can tell us why you think it's okay, which is how you
It's
feel
okay.
about it, I would assume.
Okay. Marco put out a similar one yesterday, and the Republican Party has done it in the past. And it's, you know, Ted is being attacked by everyone from every side.
Let's just show everybody at home what this looks like.
He's building momentum in Iowa.
We'll let the viewers see what they think. This says, this is an excerpt from the mailer that you're looking at, that folks are getting in the mail. It's a yellow slip of paper. It says, your individual voting history, as well as your neighbors, are public record. Their scores are published below, and many of them will see your score as well. Caucus on Monday to improve your score, and please encourage your neighbors to caucus as well. A follow-up notice may be issued following Monday's caucuses. I got to tell you, Dan, I know a lot of people, if they got this in the mail, it would make them a little nervous, and it's intimidating to say, you know, I know what your voting record is, we know what your neighbor's is. You can get out there and make things look a little better so you won't be embarrassed in your neighborhood.
Well, all of that information is public. And again, Marco put out one yesterday, and the Republican Party did one in 2014. It's nothing new in Iowa. And again, people are looking for any reason they can to attack Ted Cruz because he's the consistent conservative in the race who has the best ground game. Martha, I was at campaign headquarters yesterday and today making phone calls. Our team yesterday made 27,000 calls. 27,000. There's not even a close second. We have 12,000 volunteers in the state. We have 1,800 chairs and co-chairs. We have blanketed the state.
There's absolutely
and
no
that's the key in Iowa to
misunderstanding that Ted Cruz's ground game
Right.
is very good. And as you were saying to me earlier, it really mirrors and builds on what they did in Texas. But I just want to go back to this voting mailer just for 1 minute. Let's pull up this other full screen that shows the response from the Secretary of State in Iowa, Paul Pate, and he says, accusing citizens of Iowa of a voting violation based on Iowa caucus participation or lack thereof is a false representation of an official act. And he goes on to say there is no such thing as an election violation related to frequency of voting. Any insinuation or statement to the contrary is wrong, and I believe it is not in keeping with the spirit of the Iowa caucuses. So is this something that you think the campaign wants to say, look, you know, we just want everyone to understand what this is. We didn't mean it to be intimidating to anybody. Maybe go a little further in explaining it?
No, I mean, I just think it's much ado about nothing. Again, Marco put out a similar piece yesterday. The Republican Party has done it. You know, look, there have been some people in the state who are for some candidates and for some others, so I'm not sure where all that's coming from. It's just another one of many attacks that's not making a difference in Ted. If you've seen the Des Moines Register polling. Ted's going to have a great night tomorrow night. He is going to be the conservative who is coalescing conservatives in Iowa and across the country. And I believe he's going to be the next president of the United States, and we're going to be very excited in Texas. In America, we have not had a real conservative lead our party for so long, Martha.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What do you think the story is going to be tomorrow night? Because you and I were also discussing in the break about Donald Trump's very invisible or perhaps, you know, underground ground
or non-existent ground game.
But, you know, one or the other, we're going to know the answer to that question tomorrow night. And what do you think that surprise is going to be?
I think the polling is correct that there are 3 candidates who have separated from the field. If you take the other 7 and they average 4 points each, that leaves about 72% for 3. So the polling is about showing that number. Ted's going to do very well tomorrow night. He's going to look. He's the only conservative who has a chance to win Iowa, who has money and a team for the long run. Mike Huckabee's a friend. Rick Santorum's a friend. They won Iowa, but they didn't have the full campaign. Ted can go the distance. and having a strong conservative who, by the way, Martha, after a couple of weeks, by the time we get to Texas on March 1st for our primary, which early vote starts in about 2 weeks, you're going to be down to 5 people in the debates. And the more you see Ted in the debate, the stronger he gets. The more you see Trump in the debate, the weaker he gets. You have a candidate in Ted Cruz who's memorized the Constitution. I'm not so sure we have others who have read it yet. I know Hillary's not following it. So the more they get to see Ted, the more he coalesces the conservatives across the country. It's going to be a great night tomorrow night. We'll see what the turnout is.
Thank you for being here.
Martha.
And good to have you here. And interesting to see the voter violation that some people got. And we'll see how everybody caucuses and how the vote comes out tomorrow night. I know you're optimistic.
I don't think it's going to make a difference till tomorrow night. Bill, Martha, thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.